In this video, we'll walk through the replacement and calibration steps needed to successfully install a new printhead for Markforged X3, X5, and X7 3D printers. First step is to unload all materials from the printhead. To unload fiber, select that tile from the Materials tab. The printer disengages the fiber extruder, allowing manual respooling of the fiber spool. Note that instructions for every step of the process are very well outlined on the printer UI. Rotate the spool counterclockwise to pull the fiber backwards through its tubing route, always paying attention to the end of the fiber strand. You want to keep full control of this to avoid the spool from unwinding, which will compromise the spool and lead to print failures. Have some painter's tape nearby to tape the end of the fiber to the side of its spool. Skipping the fiber loading command, you'll return back to the home screen. Return to the Materials tab so that we can unload plastic. The printhead will heat up to a steady state temperature depending on the plastic loaded, at which point the UI will prompt you with two actions. The first action is to unscrew the Bowden tube from the extruder's outlet port. The second action is to disconnect the feed tube from the extruder's inlet port and cut the filament, preferably at an angle for easier loading when that time comes. Select Next on the UI to trigger the extruder to push the cut filament through. Pull the filament out and re-secure the Bowden tube. As before, skip the filament loading command and select Cooldown on the UI. For about 30 seconds immediately after selecting Cooldown, clean off the plastic and fiber nozzles with the brass wire brush from the accessory kit. The reason this is important is because any debris stuck here will throw off the initial calibration steps. While the printer continues to cool, remove the print bed and clean using warm water. This will remove glue and other residues in preparation for calibration. Note that neither soap nor isopropyl alcohol is needed for cleaning Markforged print beds. Afterwards, thoroughly dry off the print bed and reinstall it back into the printer. Before removing the printhead, we need to power off the printer. The printer is safe to power off only when cooling has finished, which is easily identified by the lack of a cooling symbol on the UI and when the hot end cooling fan is off. Both of these conditions are true here, so I'll go ahead and power off the printer. Now we are ready to remove the printhead. First, unscrew the plastic and fiber Bowden tubes from the top of the printhead. Note that the X3 lacks fiber capabilities, so it will only have the plastic Bowden tube. Then, slide the ribbon cable clip out. Grip the latches on the top and bottom of the ribbon cable connector and gently pull to disconnect it. Finally, using a 2.5mm hex key, unscrew the two socket head cap screws securing the printhead to the Y rail. Keep hold of the printhead while doing this to avoid it falling and damaging the printer. Note that if your printer is covered via a Digital Forge Complete plan, like Essentials, you will need to ship the old printhead back to Markforged for refurbishment, using the return shipping label included with the new printhead. With the old printhead removed, go ahead and install the new printhead, again, carefully supporting the printhead while you secure the two screws. For best results, try and tighten them equal amounts until firm. There's no need to crank on them. Then connect the ribbon cable and wiggle the cable clip back into place. Resecure both Bowden tubes back onto the top of the printhead, and then power on the printer. Boot up time will take about a minute or so and is complete when the screen reads ready to print. This next section marks the calibration steps that need to be completed, and all told takes a couple hours to complete. Note that these steps are sometimes utilized for troubleshooting of complex print issues as well, and often are successful at solving them. First, we need to go to the Settings tab and enter the System Info tile so that we can toggle off Scan Bed Before Prints under the gear icon. This will turn off the laser scan so we can get an approximate analog leveling of the print bed. The Markforged support site recommends we load material at this point, but I prefer to load later, otherwise you're wasting time heating up and cooling down, plus partially extruded material can throw off your results. Return back to the home screen and proceed to the Adjust Z Offset tile under the Bed Level tab. Click through the screen command to initiate the rise of the print bed. You will then need to tighten each of the 3 thumb screws until the aluminum flexure no longer moves, basically to the point the screws are fully tight. Click Next and you will be prompted to nudge the bed up or down until the plastic nozzle, which is the nozzle closer to the rear of the printer, just barely touches the print bed. Once complete, click Next to repeat this process for the front left corner and for the rear center. Afterwards, you will need to perform this process again, only this time with the 3 thumb screws loosened to the point the aluminum flexure no longer lowers. Be careful not to loosen the screws so much that they fall out of the build stage. You know the screws are close to this point when they begin to wiggle. The point of this Z-offset calibration routine is to obtain the 2 extreme bed leveling positions. This way, the printer understands that the bed is guaranteed to be properly leveled and position the proper distance from the nozzle within this range. Once you've completed this step, click Finish to save the offsets to the printer's memory. Our next calibration step is to complete a shim bed level, which is also under the Bed Level tab. As the warning states, do not rest on the printer or print bed during this process to avoid confounding the results. As the name suggests, this calibration routine requires the use of both the plastic and fiber brass shims included in the accessory kit. Now, fortunately, because we just completed the Z-offset adjustment, the thumb screws are already at their lowest position, so we can proceed to the next step. Here, adjust the thumb screw while the plastic shim is beneath the plastic nozzle, which again is the rearmost nozzle, until slight resistance is felt as you slide the shim back and forth. What's considered slight resistance is pretty subjective, so I gauge the bowing of the plastic shim as I push it as a good indicator. Our X7 here tends to print pretty thin when leveled to this gauge of resistance, so I like to lower the build stage just a bit more to get good results. As before, we'll repeat this process across the other 2 locations, which are positioned above the 3 thumb screws. And that warning really applies to this center rear location since it's pretty awkward to get to without leaning on something, so try not to here. And do your best with the leveling, but don't fret too much because we'll get a more accurate leveling result later. Now, when asked if you want to retry the shim leveling, I always recommend you do. Since large changes were made to the front left and rear center thumb screws, our results from the first location can change considerably. Go back, double check all the resistances with the shim, and make any necessary adjustments to the thumb screws. Once finished, you'll be presented with the same screen, only this time click Next. We're done with the plastic shim, so now it's time for the fiber shim. Slide it under the fiber nozzle, which is the nozzle closest to you, and instead of touching the thumb screws, we want to adjust the fiber nozzle height using the socket head cap screw on the top of the print head. Rotate it clockwise with the 2.5mm hex key to bring the fiber nozzle closer to the fiber shim. Again, we're looking for slight resistance, but we'll get a more accurate result here soon. Proceed through the screen commands until you are prompted to run the test print. Press Skip so that we can first load material. The print head will home and print bed will lower, at which point click Done on the screen to send you back home. The utilities for loading and unloading material are both found under the same tab. For loading plastic, choose Meter Load to allow the printer to track material remaining. We'll need Onyx for a later test print, so ensure that material is selected. We have a partially used spool, so we'll choose that and then we'll weigh the spool. Looks like 1325 grams is the weight, so back to the printer, enter 1325 into the weight field. While the print head heats up, load the Onyx spool into the dry box, making sure the filament is feeding from the top of the spool and into the dry box adapter. Push the filament through the adapter and into the feed tube to the point at which about an inch is protruding from the end of the feed tube. Then, latch the dry box fully closed. Once the print head has reached steady state temperature, click Next on the screen to engage the plastic extruder. Take the end of the filament and push it into the extruder until you feel the extruder gears grip the filament and begin pulling it. Seat the feed tube into the extruder's inlet port and watch the filament pass through the tubing system. You may have to hit retry to keep the extruder running. Once the filament enters the printhead and the extruder begins to skip, hit stop on the screen, then click done to keep the printhead hot. Next, let's load fiber. For a later calibration step, if you have an X7, load carbon fiber. If it's an X5, load fiberglass. Use the meter load option to track fiber remaining and choose the option that applies to you. We have a 150cc partial spool, so we need to weigh it like we did with the Onyx. After entering the 180 gram mass into the weight field, the fiber extruder begins spinning. Position the fiber spool onto its post and feed it through the fiber feed tube like so until the fiber extruder grabs it. Again, you may have to hit retry if the extruder stops spinning. Watch it pass through the fiber tubing system until it enters the printhead. Once it extrudes from the fiber nozzle, select Cut from the screen to finalize the loading process and get us back home. We are now ready to begin our test prints. The first test print is the bed level test print to gauge how well we leveled the bed with the shim. This print consists of 9 discs and takes about 7 minutes. Now, these composite laminate beds are machined flat, but naturally there will be some inconsistencies which the laser level eventually accounts for. Since we haven't activated the laser level, you won't get perfect discs all the way through, but we're looking for a solid average across the 9. Note that for the test prints, I usually don't add glue to the bed since I've never needed it for these small prints, but you can add glue if you like. When the print completes, remove the print bed and peel off the discs plus the purge line at the back. I've laid out the discs on a light colored surface here so we can see how they look. This one in the back right corner printed very thin, suggesting the print bed is too close to the nozzle. Similarly, the one that printed just forward of that also was thin. Most of the other discs look good, although the one in the front center is getting a bit stringy looking, suggesting the print bed is maybe getting a bit too far from the nozzle. Since none of these positions here are over a thumb screw, and because most of the discs look good, this is as good as we can get it, so we can proceed to the next test print. Fortunately, the next test print can be initiated through the bed level test print utility that's still active. This test print is the fiber staircase print that helps to more accurately calibrate the fiber nozzle height. It prints in the rear center and takes about 22 minutes to complete. As the name suggests, the print consists of 5 steps of different heights, and after printing, we have a procedure to follow. By clicking Next, the fiber nozzle will drag over the print. You can see here that our fiber nozzle dragged through the step numbered 2. We want the drag mark to be present on steps 0, 1, and 2, indicating a properly set fiber nozzle height. Let's lower the fiber nozzle about 1/12 of a turn clockwise and try the swipe again. Looks like it's still too high, so let's lower it a little bit more. That's looking a lot better. This time, the mark is also on the step numbered 1. Let's lower it a bit more and click retry on the screen to reswipe. Okay, excellent. It's now on steps 0, 1, and 2. Proceed to swipe the remaining tries, which should also show the drag marks across the 3 critical steps as seen here, and then you can hit done on the utility. Our final calibration test print is the Adjust Laser Offsets. This is under the Utilities tab, Maintenance, and then Printhead Maintenance. This print calibrates the laser height and relation between it and the print nozzles. Select Print Test Part and wait the 14 minutes for the right angle shaped print to complete. Towards the end, 2 strands of fiber 90 degrees to each other will be ironed to the top face. The laser will then scan these fiber strands to calibrate the laser and then give you a pass or fail response when complete. Note that you will sometimes receive a calibration error, but clicking scan again usually fixes it. If you get 3 calibration errors in a row, you will need to reprint the test print or reach out to us for help. After a rescan, we are good to go. The test print looked fine with no fiber peeling off or waviness, so click Next. We see the old and new laser offsets printed here, and it's good to see there hasn't been any drastic changes. Sometimes it's a good idea to snap a photo of these, especially if you're performing this process to resolve a complex print issue. Go ahead and click Save, and then Done to return to the home screen. Go ahead and remove the print from the build platform at this point. Now that all the test prints are complete, we can go back to the Settings tab and System Info tile to re-enable Scan Bed Before Prints. Click Home so that we can complete a laser bed level. After the laser scans across the bed, click Next on the screen to position the printhead over the first thumb screw location. We want the arrow to be as centered as possible, so in this case, we need to loosen the thumb screw here. Once set, click Next to move the printhead to the second thumb screw location. For this one, we need to tighten the thumb screw to bring the print bed closer to center. Lastly, the printhead will move to the rear center thumb screw for your final adjustment. Afterwards, the printhead will rescan the bed, ending with the bed level confirmation screen. At this point, cancel out of the utility. Return to the laser bed level tile to rerun the scan. Just like we did with the shim bed level, the adjustments we made may have thrown off the first measurement. So retrying the utility will ensure our bed is well and truly level. After some minor tweaks, we can now proceed through the rest of the laser bed level utility. Retrieve the plastic and fiber shims again to validate the offsets. Here, we want to check for slight resistance of the two nozzles in the forward center of the build platform. Nudge the print bed up or down if needed to obtain the proper slight resistance. Again, since our X7 tends to squish our layers a bit more than our other printers, I'm aiming for a much slighter level of resistance than usual. Repeat the process with the fiber shim, adjusting the screw on top of the printhead to get the resistance just right. Between any adjustments here and the print bed adjustments made during the laser bed level, you will want to go in and reprint the fiber staircase to get an accurate fiber nozzle height. In our case, we won't be printing with fiber for a while, so I'll just cancel out of this utility. At this point, your industrial series printer is now ready to print. Reach out to us if you encountered any issues.